The letter E has historical significance for Jaguar. It has been said the two-seat E-Type of the 1960s is among the most beautiful cars ever designed. The E-Pace? It's a completely different cat, a vehicle that's cashing in on our insatiable demand for crossovers. By selling a lot of these, the company can build more cars like the F-Type, maybe even mass-produce that electric E-Type that Prince Harry drove. About the name, I told a number of friends that I was going to be driving the E-Pace, and they got very excited to a person saying, I really want to see the electric Jag, which is the I-Pace. Because, you know, electric, it starts with the letter, that's right, E. At least the lines are done right. There's only so much that can be done to a two-box silhouette. The design team, led by Ian Callum, nailed the proportions and haunches. It's not often the descriptors stout and graceful are combined. The hood, front fenders, roof panel, and tailgate are aluminum. This being the small Jag, got to love the Easter egg. The shapely body rides on the same architecture as Land Rover brethren Voelk and Discovery Sport. All-wheel drive is standard. The 2-liter Ingenium 4-cylinder in this P250 model delivers 246 horsepower and 269 pound-feet of torque. The same engine in the P300R Dynamic model gains 50 horses and 26 pound-feet. Cog swaps are performed by a 9-speed transmission. I'm lukewarm to electronic shifters. This one's no different. I'd expect all Jags to have paddle shifters. Move up to the P300 for those. But there are drive modes, and they aren't just color-coded. Each one significantly changes the personality of the car. Throttle response, steering effort, and transmission mapping can be set individually. One thing about the engine, at idle, it almost sounds like a diesel, doesn't it? There's some throttle lag, nothing like the F-Pace I drove. The engine note has some raspiness to it. The P250 feels quicker than the 0 to 60 time of 6.7 seconds. If you're wondering, Jaguar claims a top speed of 143 miles per hour, which is almost 20 mph more than the I-Pace. You know, the electric one. Ride quality is firm but comfortable, what you'd expect from a modern crossover. It is fun to fling into corners. There's a little bit more body roll than I would expect, and the steering is a little bit lighter than I like, but still fun to drive. This is a crossover, and I shouldn't be comparing it to an F-Type. Up against, say, Porsche's Macan, it's in a similar cornering league. I find the German to be more refined, though. The Briton has a little chatter coming from the front suspension on rough pavement. FYI, P300R Dynamic models get Jaguar's active driveline that can cruise as a front driver only, decoupling from the rear axle to save fuel. It can instantly shift all torque to the front or rear axles and also between the back wheels, depending on traction needs. I've had no issues with the 9-speed transmission. Shifts are smooth, but really, paddle shifters should be standard on all E-Paces. Standard active electronic safety kit includes automatic emergency braking and lane keep assist that feathers in well. This is an SE model with adaptive cruise control. The collision alert system is a skosh too sensitive for my taste. F-Pace is over a foot longer than E-Pace, but its architecture is made out of aluminum. This one is made out of steel, so E-Pace is actually heavier than the F-Pace. And fuel economy really isn't all that different. The EPA average for the E-Pace is 24, the F-Pace 23. That would be miles per gallon. It's moderately quiet. I like the size of the E-Pace, especially in urban driving. It's compact, but doesn't feel cramped up front. The seating position is raised moderately, not too high, and visibility is decent. Like most modern cars these days, there's an automatic engine start-stop system. This one is okay. Lift your foot off the brake, and you can feel it, but it's not horrible. Yes, you can turn it off. Occasionally, restarting on an uphill grade, I found significant lag before the car got moving quickly. E-Pace starts at $39,600. This top trim SE starts at $44,500 and ends up at just over $54,000 after choosing options like these lovely Windsor leather seats that can fit just about anyone and a fixed panoramic roof. Automatic parking is standard on SE. The grab handle makes me think F-Type. There's an upscale vibe in here. Maybe a couple pieces of plastic look average, but I'm nitpicking. I dissed Cadillac's XT4 for not having lined door pockets, so I need to do that here. The Meridian sound system is rich and powerful. When it comes to storage, the small Jag eats up a lot of stuff. This video light is pretty big and still fits in here. If you don't drink in your car, this cover can be left in place. Much has been said about JLR's In-Control Touch Pro user interface. The graphics are terrific. Touch it and there's often a lag. Give it a solid look on your test drive to see if it works for you. Some of the features are deeper in the menu than I like. 2019's will be available with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. For $300, BMW, you have started something. The climate control knobs do double duty as seat heater controls. While it looks like venting is available, it's not. Tease. The surround view camera system is fun to play around with. An optional head-up display will get your attention. So will the $970 price tag. Scoot the seats up a bit. I'd like a little bit more room, please. Nope. This test is designed to show how comfortable you are with the driving position set properly for me at 5'9". Wish you were driving the F-Pace. I do have just enough head, knee, and leg room back here, though these door openings, they're on the small side if you plan on getting car seats in and out on a regular basis. The cushions are high, so thigh support is good. Seat heaters are available, in other words, optional. Storage? Yep, in the usual spots. There are seat belts and USB ports for 3 back here, but unless the passengers are small or kids, stop the count at 2 adults because this is the small Jag. One kick with my very bright shoe opens up the boot, handy when your hands are full. Works with shoes that aren't so bright too. Cargo space is not bad for a small crossover. 5 packs of the 2-ply is one more than I thought I'd get into this space. Love these elastic bands. Every car should have them back here. And it's always nice to have a spare too, just in case you do go off-roading. There are no remote seat releases, but the reach is easy enough that they're not needed. I would like 40-20-40 split seats at this price. Because the backs don't fold completely flat, things slide a little bit when loading stuff like this. The wrapping is a bit slick. That said, for a small crossover, 13 bundles of my weird measurement metric make the E-Pace useful. Cross-shopping? Other competitors would be Audi Q3, BMW X1, Infiniti QX30, Mercedes GLA, and Volvo XC40. The Jag is not inexpensive. There is a 5-year, 60,000-mile warranty and free scheduled maintenance during that time, so there's value in that. Keep in mind that the roomier F-Pace isn't that much more expensive. There's a strong argument that the petrol-powered E-Pace got the wrong Jaguar family name, but given that it looks great and is fun to sling around town in, it's electric in its own sort of way. If I remember my Jaguar history correctly, the E-Pace would be only the second Jag that's based on front-wheel drive architecture, even though for now it's only available with all-wheel drive in the US. The other one? Oh, well, if we were playing Jeopardy and I were Alex Trebek, you would be saying, oh, what is the X-Type? British cars named after animals for 500, please? And if I were Alex, this would be a much more lucrative gig. Hope you got something out of my look at the Jaguar E-Pace. You might have noticed when I stand next to this car, I'm in Seahawks colors. I live in Seattle. A fun fact, in the Nike color palette, this is called Action Green, not lime green, Action Green. This would be college navy. The gray uniforms are wolf gray. Now, I bring that up because occasionally I'm mistaken for Coach Pete Carroll, and not just in Seattle. It's happened in Chicago, Phoenix, New York. I do have the broken nose. The other person I'm mistaken for is Anderson Cooper, which I don't think I look anything like Anderson Cooper. Sometimes people say, hey, are you the car guy that puts TP in the trunk? And I'll mess with them and say, no, nice to meet you, Coach Pete Carroll. That's Driven. I'm Tom Voelk. One kick with my very bright shoe opens up the boot, handy when your hands are full. Handy when it works too.